Hej och välkomna tillbaka. Nu fortsätter vi programmet och nu ska vi prata förnyelsebar energi kan man säga. Vi kopplar upp oss mot Industrial Solar. Welcome Christian. He's the CEO for Industrial Solar and he's making a presentation via Zoom. Welcome.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for the warm welcome. Hello and good morning from Freiburg to Gothenburg. And I'm happy to share the latest news from Industrial Solar Holding with you concerning clean energy and clean water for industry. A few words for those who don't know us yet, who we are, what we do. Industrial Solar Holding Europe holds 100% of Industrial Solar GmbH and 100% of Solar Spring GmbH. They're both in Freiburg in Germany. The holding is listed on Spotlight, has currently a market capitalization of about 70 million kroner or 7 million euro roughly. And Industrial Solar GmbH is basically a one-stop shop for industry that wants to reduce its emissions. We are offering customized solutions for industrial customers, which are mainly based on solar technology, but we are currently broadening our solution portfolio. And Solar Spring, they are a pioneer in the field of membrane distillation. They are offering innovative solutions for wastewater treatment and also for drinking water treatment. Let me start this presentation with a very beautiful photo, which wasn't taken by astronauts, which was recently taken by the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, showing what it's all about. It's about our beautiful blue planet. And let me share here the numbers of our freshwater consumption. This is the development from 1920 to now. And this is the development of our carbon emissions. So you can see this increase is going mostly parallel. It's easily understandable as we need more and more energy and more water for our life and for our industry. The sun is sending about 1,500 billion gigawatt hours of energy per year to our planet. Or this is the energy that actually reaches the surface of our planet. And there's a similar order of magnitude in kilometers, in cubic kilometers of water that's on our Earth. So the sun is sending about 10,000 times the annual energy demand of humankind. And we have about 3 million times the water. Mostly it's salt water, of course, but there is abundance of water and energy. But yet we still have a problem with clean energy and clean water. 50% of all emissions are caused by burning of fossil fuels for generation of thermal energy, partly in fossil-powered power plants for the generation of electricity, but also a large fraction is being fired in factories and industry to generate thermal energy, to generate hot water, to generate steam, generate heat. And for us, as a group of companies, one company addressing the energy demand in industry and the other company addressing the water demand in industry, it's a very nice match that about 80% of all industries that require heat also use water. And even better is that the technology of Solar Spring, the membrane distillation, mainly needs heat as a driving force. So membrane distillation needs heat in a temperature range between 60 and 90% and very little electricity compared to other systems. This is a slide I had shown last year, but it's so important that I decided to show it again. It's about the industrial growth, which is predicted to take place in the next decades, in the next 20, 30 years. It's a prediction, it was made in a study made by ExxonMobil, and these numbers are confirmed by other studies. And we expect the industrial growth by up to 400% until 2050. But this industrial growth is not going to take place in Sweden or Germany or Central Europe. It's going to happen in the emerging markets in countries like India, China, Latin America, Africa, and those countries, they have a very good sunshine, they have a very good solar irradiation. They're all in the Sunbelt region of our planet. So this is good news for us. These are the upcoming markets. We are providing clean energy based on a portfolio of solar technologies, and we are providing water treatment technologies which need heat as a driving force, and this heat can be either provided with solar energy from solar thermal energy or waste energy. This is how we all started. This is how Industrial Solar GmbH started its activities. It's a concentrating solar thermal technology, a so-called Fresnel Collector. You see here an installation in Jordan, Amman. This system with more than 1,200 square meters is generating temperatures up to 225 degrees C, pressures up to 25 bar max, and this system is feeding steam to a tobacco plant, and also a part of the steam is used for absorption chiller with about 540 kilowatt cooling capacity. Due to COVID-19, our international project business came to a sudden halt early this year when we had the first wave, the first lockdown. And even earlier, we had begun to broaden our technology portfolio, and we have used the time to realize this broadening of our portfolio. So meanwhile, we are also offering consultancy for CO2 reduction, energy optimization, and for ISO 50001 certification. Engineering, we are basically an engineering company. We have about 20 employees. More than half of them are engineers. We have very good know-how, very good track record, experience in the field of process heating, steam generation, and cooling. Now we added district heating, which is basically very close to our original business, and which is also an upcoming market over the next years to reduce the carbon emissions for space heating for housing. Another solution that came to our portfolio is power generation. We are offering photovoltaics. We are currently focusing on photovoltaic carports, which is an upcoming market now for electromobility, not only here in Europe, but also in other target markets. And we also do offer turbines for the conversion of waste heat in industry to be used for electricity generation. Heating and cooling, of course, we were in solar cooling projects in very, very early days. We have installed several projects with double effect lithium bromide absorption chillers, also with ammonia water absorption chillers. This is where we come from. Combination with solar process heat is very advantageous because when you don't need the heat, you can still convert the heat to cold. What we have added are heat pumps, industrial heat pumps. They are very interesting solutions for customers who are in less sunny regions, and also storages, heat storages, as well as cold storages. Here is the part of the portfolio which is added by the company Solar Spring. Process water with their membrane distillation. It is possible to recover valuable components from wastewater streams. This is very important for a circular economy. I will give you an example of that later. And also ultrafiltration, which is very important for preparation of drinking water. Solar Spring has realized several projects, for example, in Africa, where their systems are cleaning water so that people can get clean drinking water at those stations. So here the overview of our current portfolio. So we are not only experts in solar thermal, but we are offering a complete portfolio which is matching the needs of basically most customers all over the world. Here's some examples. This is an example of Solar Spring, of the application of membrane distillation. It's the recovery of gold in the production of printed circuit boards. For these printed circuit boards, there is a process where a chemical based on cyano and gold is being used. This component is rather costly, and it's also the problem if it would be in the wastewater going to the sewage treatment system. So it's a double win effect to take this or to recycle that component from the wastewater stream. The gold loss is significantly reduced, and the wastewater is cleaned. Payback times are very low, below 1 year, and it's going towards a circular economy. Solar Spring has realized such a system at the company AT&S in Austria, and we're about to contact about 267 companies in Europe that have this process in operation. Another example is the recovery of nutrients out of sewage sludge. In sewage sludge, you have typically ammonium sulfate, which is a fertilizer, which is good when it's applied in the right time to the right plants, which is not so good if it's in the drinking water. With membrane distillations, ammonium sulfate can be extracted from the sewage sludge. It is powered with waste heat from a biogas system, which is operated typically in this sewage treatment or wastewater treatment plants. And Industrial Solar has recently commissioned such a system nearby Freiburg here in Germany. And there are roughly about 18,000 potential customers alone in Europe for that technology. So this is a little bit a complex graphic. It's an infographic showing how we are combining those solar technologies with the water treatment technology of Solar Spring. So you can see here on the right-hand side, solar thermal collectors, Fresnel collectors here, photovoltaics generating electricity. We can provide clean heat and clean electricity to factories. With a part of the heat, we can purify the water with membrane distillation. And we can also treat seawater, for example. If there is a need for seawater desalination, there's a possibility of applying multi-effect distillation or reverse osmosis. And so this is all adding to the big picture of a circular economy provided with clean energy and clean water. Very important for us are currently R&D projects. We do have a kind of a wave of public funded R&D projects. This is due to the fact that we were applying or we were preparing a lot of proposals in the past. Some of them were on hold. And now basically the funding authorities are giving green light for all those projects. And this brings us in a very special situation that we haven't been in before. Industrial Solar has now 5 projects granted and Solar Spring 2. So we have a total of 7 funded R&D projects. And my expectation is that after this wave of funded projects, we will have a wave of commercial projects. So a few words about those funded projects. We do have here on this slide our European funded project, Horizon 2020. There's a first project, Ship to Fair, which is about integration of solar process heat systems in the agro-food sector in Europe. They are also working on tools, replication tools to make integration easier, and we are going to install 2 systems within this project. This also explains the rather high budget that we have here of 1.4 million euro. We have a second Horizon 2020 project with a budget of 456,000 euro, which has a 100% funding rate. This is about a combination of different renewable energy technologies to provide higher temperatures to industry. For example, combining solar thermal also with heat pumps, with high temperature heat pumps. Innovite is a rather small and short project. It is about preparation for energy as a service, for energy contracting in Chile, especially solar steam. So it's basically a study concerning the feasibility of solar steam as a service in the Chilean market. Some national R&D projects. We have GSZ developed PPP. This is also about energy as a service, energy contracting in Jordan. So this is basically supporting the market introduction. Sunbelt chiller, I do have a separate slide on that. That's about a new type of absorption chiller which can operate without wet cooling towers, which is very important for the Sunbelt region. And then two more projects by Solar Spring, brine mine. This is about extracting salts from wastewater in industry, and ammonium MD. This is the extracting of ammonia sulfate, which I just presented in one of the last slides. So the total funding volume is about 2.5 million euro that we're going to receive in the next 3 to 4 years. And there are further proposals pending, already positively evaluated, and we expect further projects here. So a few words about this project Sunbelt Chiller. There are many, many industries out there that need cooling for their production processes. When you operate a chiller, you might know it's similar to your fridge at home. They're basically pumping heat from one place to the other, and you have to reject waste heat. And when you are in a very hot region, you typically need wet cooling towers, meaning you need water to reject the waste heat. And we are now facing the situation that due to climate change, there are regions on our planet where the temperatures are rising and water becomes more and more scarce, so that wet cooling towers cannot be operated. And this means that a lot of companies in these parts of the world, in the Sun Belt, are now threatened by production stoppage as they cannot operate their chillers anymore, and this might cause very high losses. In this project will be developed a new type of absorption chiller that does not require wet cooling. The heat rejected during the day is at a very, very high temperature level. It's at 90 degrees C, so it can either be rejected with dry cooling towers, but the idea is to use this valuable heat at a high temperature as process heat. For example, in food industry, you need very often cold and heat, or you can store the 90 degrees C heat for nighttime operation of this chiller, which is then operating in a different mode and needs only 90 degrees C. So this is very, very interesting technology. And now a few words about our status quo. The integration of Solar Spring in the holding is in process. We are currently making use of the synergies between the two companies in terms of sales and marketing. And we have already, or there's adaptation in progress to cope with the COVID-19 crisis as we do more local sales activities and have our product portfolio broadened. And we do have a very strong support currently via funded R&D projects as well on European as on national level, with a total funding volume of about 2.5 million euro. And we do have now a faster growth of our sales pipeline due to this broader portfolio. So we are on track. Thank you very much. That's about it. And I'm looking forward to your questions.
To listen to you guys. Of course, we have a couple of questions, if we may. What's this about? I mean, you have quite a few R&D projects for being a quite small company. I mean, a lot of people, I think, yeah. Please elaborate a little bit why you have so many projects.
It's very surprising. So we're not an institute, we're a company, even if some people are kidding now. But this is really showing the importance of our topics that we address, and it's also showing the good work that we do. We have written so many proposals in the past, and now all of a sudden they're all being granted because they're all addressing very important topics, and they're opening, or the results will really give solutions to current problems and rising problems due to climate change. And this is being now acknowledged by those funding authorities. And this is why we do have this boom. And it also means that we haven't been lazy. I mean, we have been writing proposals after proposal, very, very busy using the time here. And I'm very happy that we are now being rewarded by this wave of funding projects, which is also helping us to co-finance a team, to build up a strong team, a bigger team, and to prepare for hopefully the next wave. I mean, now after the elections in the US, there is more hope that climate change is being tackled more proactively. And what's basically keeping us back now is the COVID-19 crisis. And I do hope that we're going to cope with that COVID-19 soon, and that then the recovery measures are taking place. I mean, just looking at the budget, which is being made available by the European Union for the restart of the economy, we're talking about, I think, 750 billions of euro to restart the economy. But also with a focus on green technologies and climate change mitigation. And we are offering a huge portfolio for that purpose. So I would say we are in the pole position.
Okay. And if you have so many projects, do you think, how will that affect your company in the long run, do you think? I mean, all these projects will not be commercialized, right?
But most of them are tackling questions that we have to do anyway, or questions that we have to solve anyway, and developments that we have to do anyway. So this is meaning a very strong support for us. As I said, this is a very substantial co-financing of our team, and this is strengthening our team. This is, allowing us to grow now, even in a time when the commercial orders are not coming in on a constant basis, because I mean we are still offering a kind of nice to have technology, and we do have a push market, not a pull market yet. So we're expecting this to change, but as a matter of fact, it's still cheaper to burn fossil fuel than relying on renewable.
Ja, vi har tappat honom. Christian, we're losing you. But do you see any risks of being too scattered? You have too many projects at the same time. Okay. Vi får bryta här tyvärr på grund av att vi har tappat Christian.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we hear you, Christian. Welcome back. We lost you. I think we lost you, the last two sentences. I think we lost you, your comment.
Yeah. What did I say? I mean, currently it's a push market, and we're expecting to change that due to political measures being taken now in the near future, and all these funded projects allow us to strengthen our team, to increase the team size, to have more capacities, and to be better prepared for the commercial wave of projects.
Yeah, okay. Do you see any risks that if you have so many projects, you lack a focus on a specific project or technology? I mean, I think a lot of people, I mean, are familiar with weniger aber besser, right? That you that you focus on something very specific and develop that for 100%.
Yes, definitely right. So we are aware of that. We are not increasing our portfolio by tens of technologies, but we have focused on a rather, a rather small increase of our portfolio. So we do know most of the technologies already since several years, but we have now made it clearer to our customers. And so we are keeping the focus. We are aware that there is a threat of losing focus, and we are, of course, fighting that, and we try to stay focused to have a good offer for our customers.
Yes, I understand. You elaborate a little bit about more projects. Maybe you have written more proposals and things like that. How many more projects do you think you can take care of?
I think with the current team, we can take care of another one or two, depending on the size of the project. But it's also that we are receiving a lot of applications. So it's I'm sometimes kidding. We should open a company to hire people like headhunters, because we are basically being flooded with applications. So there are a lot of people out there who see what we do, that this is the business of the future. And there are other companies that probably would be jealous if they would see how many applications we receive every day and every week. So it would not be a problem to find people to work on the project. And if you get the funding, if you get good funding rates, then it's also possible to finance those people and to basically have a controlled growth of the company.
Yeah, okay. But you think you will add a couple of more projects going forward for 2020?
Yes, I think there will be more. So we don't have the final confirmation yet, but we already got positive signals concerning a few more projects. So I guess there will be some more.
Yeah. How does this second wave of COVID affect you guys down in Germany, do you think? I mean, I think you used some support from the state earlier, and how is that working out right now?
Yeah, so the second lockdown is kind of softer. It's not as hard as the first one. The first one, we were really mainly in home office, and we received support via short time work. So we received government support for our personal cost. And now it's not like that anymore. So we are basically, everybody's working. Part of the team is in the home office. We're wearing face masks in the office, partly when we're sharing office space with colleagues. And there are no more subsidies. But we are also well prepared now. We have all the infrastructure, the IT infrastructure to be able to work from home. And they're doing our work. We can work on the R&D projects from home, and we can also do our sales work from home. And yes, it's also a positive effect, having those video meetings being now like an established tool. In former times, we had real meetings, and we're traveling, and now basically it's a new business culture of having video calls. Yeah. And this is good for us, being a company in Germany addressing a market in other continents, on other continents.
Yeah. Yeah, so you think you can develop the company even the COVID, it doesn't affect, I mean, the possibility for you to have meetings and run your projects forward in the normal pace?
Of course, it's the COVID-19 is bad for everybody, but I think in the current situation for us, it's not as bad as it could be, due to those all those R&D projects and the ongoing sales work via a video.
Yeah. I have only one final question, Christian, because I think we're running out of time. But when we look in the long term, what kind of obstacles do you see for your commercial phase? Is that companies in the industrial sector don't understand this, or do you see, what kind of obstacles do you see for your?
I mean, the problem is still the inexpensive fossil fuel. If you look at natural gas, for example, if customers have a natural gas supply and they're having thermal energy costs of like 2 € per kilowatt hour, it is so low that it's very, very hard to sell them even energy-saving technologies. This is a problem. So we have to, or the politicians have to decide to increase carbon emission, cost for carbon emission, carbon taxes. Germany made a careful move from initial 10 euros per ton to 25 euros per ton. It's an increase predicted until 2025 to 50 to 60 euros per ton. And from that level, we do have a steering effect. So then it's no longer more profitable to burn fossil fuel, but until then, we're basically having now the early adapters, and there are more and more early adapters. So we're having more and more contact to multinationals, big companies that are operating large factories with a huge energy demand. And we are writing more and more proposals and quotations, filling our sales pipeline and negotiating with those companies. So I think it's a reasonable growth scenario that we have in front of us. But we do need a change in policies. We do need carbon taxes, and we do need higher prices for fossil fuel to make this business really fly.
Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation, Christian. We need to move on. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.